Today on Coffee with Trifocus, we are talking to one of the industry's leading group fitness specialists. He is a boutique gym owner, which he can tell you a little bit more about, and probably our longest serving ambassador. I remember still the day when he came into our original offices. Sure, that must have been 7 or 8 years ago.
In
Everybody,
Randburg.
we have
Yes.
Mika Stefano with us on Coffee with Trifocus.
How are you?
I'm good, and you, man?
I'm great. Awesome to be here.
No, thanks very much.
Chatting.
Thanks very much for joining us. It's quite a nice adventure we're going on now.
It's not coffee, it's water, but
Well,
it's
I had my coffee already, so
iced coffee by now.
yeah, no, it was, yeah, like any coffee is good coffee.
So what's happening?
No, I suppose we're just getting into a new year, starting off strong, trying to take a positive step in the right direction for everybody.
I think more than just a new year, I think it's more about just a whole new lifestyle coming out of COVID and finding ourselves in a whole new environment. Some people may be unfamiliar with the new space we're in, adapting and learning how to adapt, putting it both together. So yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things like everybody says with the new normal. I'm like, well, were we normal beforehand? This is just new.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to reset the page.
That it is, yes.
Okay, so Mika, obviously I've given a little bit of a brief intro about you. I know there's a lot more to you than meets the eye, though. So I don't know if you want to if you want to give us maybe a quick rundown in terms of who you are, where you started, and where you are now.
Cool. So Mika Stefano used to be quite active in the entertainment, South African entertainment scene, blogging, radio, TV stuff. And then kind of had kidney stones, and I was like, oh, I need to become healthy. And whilst becoming healthy, I fell in love with fitness. And it's something that I really enjoyed. And that's why I decided, okay, let me learn the powers of Trifocus Fitness Academy just to kind of enhance what I'd already picked up whilst training on my own, but kind of just formalizing it, because many people will be like, oh, Mika, how did you lose weight, or how did you get into this fitness thing? And for me, it was always like, yes, I could share what worked for me, but I'd love to share potential things that could work for other people as well, and kind of just share and motivate and continue to inspire people, pay it forward kind of thing, and hopefully encourage other people to not lose weight, but to become healthier versions of themselves.
I like that.
So that's something that has always been something that's quite important to me. It's not being that bodybuilder, not being a bikini model, but just being a healthy version of yourself, being a balance. Yes, we can have a coffee or a chocolate or a mochaccino or whatever, but I'll put them all together. But it's just about being healthy, and having a balance. So yes, treat yourself every now and then, but know that, okay, I'm going to work, I'm being healthy, so that has always been my focus, of try encourage people not to strive for being a muscle model or to be a bikini model. Yes, that's great, but rather just everyday people trying to be healthy versions of themselves. So I studied with Trifocus Fitness Academy and allowed myself to share things, not just what worked for me, but what could work for other people. And from that, I started working at a private boutique here in Johannesburg. And then that developed after being there maybe 4 or 5 years. The opportunity of having my own space came up, and I partnered with a fairly new gym called Move Motion Fitness. They are here in Gauteng. And yeah, so I've partnered with them, and I'm in Melrose Arch. I have my own little HIIT studio, treadmill-based HIIT studio. And yeah, the whole idea of it, like I said, which is very important to what I stand for, is fitness for everyone. So making everyone feel like they can really enjoy a session, they can get a good workout from someone who, like Kabelo Mabalani, who is one of our very, very regular clients, members. He's done the Comrades Marathon, I think now maybe 11, 12 times, to someone who's really never even been into a gym space. And that's the magic of it, that everyone can be in that same room together, and they're each achieving their own goals. And it's not like a competition. Look at me, look at me. It's just a safe space for everyone. So I think that's very much the driving force of Strong, allowing everyone to feel like they're strong, regardless of their fitness level. So yeah, that's the name of the boutique gym that I opened in Melrose Arch. It's called Strong, and you are strong. That's an advert waiting to happen, right?
Look, you've got to use the opportunities, eh? Look, I love the idea that you're approaching fitness from a balance point of view. I think too often we often see in the fitness industry that people sort of chase extremes. And I think for the majority of the general population, balance is what it's all about. Now, I know you've always been into group fitness. Have you ever wanted to sort of dive out of group fitness, or is group fitness where it is for you?
I think for me, there have been opportunities to do private one-on-one kind of sessions, that kind of stuff. But I do think with my personality, I think, and it's just something I prefer group fitness. There's so much more energy to feed off as opposed to doing a one-on-one session with someone. So group fitness is definitely something that I personally prefer. Also, you can change so many more people's lives within 1 hour as opposed to doing a one session kind of thing. So I think that's really the power with group fitness, is that you can target more people at once, and it doesn't have to be so much more along the lines of you have to do it like this, like that. As long as you're moving your body, as long as you are getting those steps in, kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Look, I like to try to pick up on things that you say, and on the group fitness, I love the idea of you've got that energy, because I know, obviously, having dabbled in a bit of personal training and sort of individual coaching myself, that if I'm having a bad day or my client's having a bad day, it's hard to pick each other up. But I can imagine that in that group environment, that even if you're having the worst day of your life, there's 2 or 3 other people in that room who you can just sort of feed off their energy, and then it just becomes the cycle of feeding and giving and feeding and giving and, or sorry, giving and taking.
It's exactly that. It's at the same time, though, you learn to know what kind of classes you're teaching. So a class that you may be teaching on a Monday morning at 5 in the morning, versus a class that you're teaching on a Saturday at 9 o'clock, are going to be slightly different energies. The class on a Saturday would obviously be more of a party class. Guys, can I hear you? You're having a good time. Whereas a Monday morning at 5 o'clock, people just want to come in, they want to work. So it's also knowing the class environment and knowing what to expect. You can't be out here on a Monday morning saying, woo-hoo, yeah, when people are quite fragile from the weekend. So it's about knowing the class and that, but definitely feeding off the energies of the class. Like you said, it's all about working together. And I think that's the great thing too. If I'm teaching a class of perhaps 20 people, they begin to motivate each other. They begin to inspire each other, inspire the person next to them. And I think that's quite special too, because then you soon realize you're not in this alone, and we're all out here together just trying to be healthy.
Oh, man, that's awesome. There was something that I wanted to go back onto, and I completely lost my train of thought now. I keep listening to what you're saying, and there's more and more questions coming out. Oh, yes. You were talking about like understanding the types of classes you teach, not necessarily the modality of the fitness, but the type of people that you're going on to. So you say, yeah, the Monday morning 5 a.m. person probably comes in with 3 shots of espresso and they still feel like they're dead. And the Saturday morning person has had their Red Bull and they're just going. Now, I'm assuming it took you a bit of time to figure out how to do those, to read those classes. I'm assuming there's a bit of experience had to go in there.
It honestly, still to this day, is quite surprising. You would have that odd client. We've got this one client who is quite irregular, and she does all the morning classes, and the whole class will be quite focused. And then she is just out there screaming and having a good time, kind of thing. And that picks up the mood, because that kind of breaks the ice, and everyone else around them is like, okay, let's not take ourselves too seriously. We just here, it doesn't have to be so much of a chore as much as something that you are enjoying. So still learning it. And I think that's the funny thing, because one of my other trainers, he teaches a Saturday morning class, and his personality is really over the top. It's really a party class kind of vibe, and he tends to attract a lot of people who are quite focused. So I suppose you can never really tell, kind of thing, until you're in that situation. And I think that's the beauty of group fitness, is being able to adapt it. So I've kind of told all my trainers, yes, it's so important to have a plan, to know what you're going to be teaching within class. But imagine if now I've planned a class, kind of a booty burner class, all glute bridges and rear kick combos, and then a whole bunch of big butch rugby player guys come into the class. And they really don't want to be doing rear kick combos. They want to be doing more upper body. So it's about having the ability to read the room and kind of see, yes, obviously I'm not going to not do glutes and hamstrings and whatnot, but it's being able to read the room and say, okay, I can see this class is a focused class, so I'm not going to do the gimmicks of, oh, can you hear me? Or I can see this class is just for a good time, so I'm going to really quiet and have a good time with them. So I think that's the importance with group training, is just knowing having the ability to read the room, and you may have planned a whole session that is quite advanced, quite challenging, and then you have a group of people who it's their first time, and that's quite important, I think, for a group trainer to be able to read the room, because now you become quite what's the word, involved in yourself, and you're doing it for yourself, whereas you're not doing it for the group that you're teaching. So now it's kind of like, oh, I'm showing off, look at these magical claps and box jumps and burpees over what that I can do, whereas you're not going to appeal to the class that you're teaching. So having the ability to say, okay, I can see these people are first timers, or, oh, I can see I've planned an easy class and these people are borderline athletes. So how can I challenge them and give them a good workout? So I think that's quite important for a fitness trainer, just being able to read the room. And it's something that I learned within radio, is having planned spontaneity. So having a plan, having a structure, but having the ability to switch it up if need be. If you've got stronger people in the class, if you've got newbies in the class, if you've got men only in a class, like I said, and you've planned a whole booty class, yeah.
Okay.
Did I even answer your question? What was
No,
the question?
no, you did. Like, so what I was sort of trying to get at was, it's not just about, we obviously, what we do is we train people to become trainers, and we can give knowledge, we can impart wisdom and things like that. But in terms of becoming a good trainer, you need experience. And that was what I was sort of going for. And what's quite nice to hear is that even for as long as you've been doing it, and for as good as you are, it's nice to know that you are still going in every session going, okay, well, what can I learn today that I can then use in my classes?
Yeah.
I love the idea of going, well, hold on, I've got a plan, but if the world goes right and I have to go left, then I'm going to go with that.
Exactly, because it's literally like you're in that moment and you're in control for that hour, that 45 minutes, however long the session is. So you need to steer that ship. You're the captain of the ship, and everyone is looking at you for direction. So you need to know where we're going, and how we get there is the journey of everyone who's on the ship. So like I said, adapting to who your class people are, but knowing exactly where you're going, that's up to you. So being in control of the situation is quite important. Not even quite important. It's important.
No, that's look, it's good to know. I think it's that openness to know that I as the instructor have to give myself to the class. It's not about how good a class I can teach. It's about how well everybody receives my instruction, how well everybody enjoys it. And I think that's a secret that you're nailing, and that's what keeps people coming back.
I think one of the very important things that I learned from studying with you guys is it's not your workouts. So it's you can't be doing it for yourself whilst training. It's not your workouts. You can train later on in the day. You can come back. It's their workout, so you need to give of yourself to them, and not be it's showing off or doing it for yourself. But yeah.
Okay, no, look, I mean, that's wisdom, and wisdom comes with experience, and experience comes with making mistakes. Now, I wanted to change direction a little bit. So obviously, you started off as a entertainment arts media personality who's now pivoted not only into the fitness industry, but you've become actually a fitness entrepreneur. I mean, the fact that you're starting your own things, you're growing your own brand. That's the dream that a lot of people want to live. They have this vision of saying, well, I want to be involved in the fitness industry, but not just as a quiet personal trainer or group fitness instructor or something like that. They want to make an impact. And then that's the point of us meeting with you, is we want to talk to people about an impact. In terms of your growth from radio, media, arts, all the way through to being the owner of Strong, what advice would you have for people? You know, obviously you've done it, you've made mistakes, you've corrected yourself. In terms of if somebody came to you and said, Mika, I want to be the next studio owner, like I want to franchise Strong, what advice would you give them in terms of that path that they need to follow?
Good luck. No, I think at the end of the day, like you can't, it's about how you package it. So at the end of the day, a squat is a squat, a bicep curl is a bicep curl. And there's nothing uniquely special to circuit training, to interval-based training, to functional training. It's not owned by anyone. So it's about how you package it and how you make that unique. So just having an idea of what would make it special, and what would set it apart. So having a look at what else is out there, and just knowing what you could offer and how you could offer it to appeal to various people, that would be a good place to start. And then just being true to who you are and what you have to offer. So once you've identified what sets you apart and what you can offer, then just being true to that. So not trying to change too much of what you're offering currently, and just offer.
Yeah, okay. So I get what you're saying, like probably, and I think it's true across all fields. The most important thing in pursuing your dreams is to actually be authentic to who you are.
Exactly.
I mean, for us, yeah, carry on.
And that's what sets anyone apart, is just being authentically and honestly, truly you. And that's what makes you unique, kind of thing. And that's what people buy into. I would try to imagine if perhaps Mika Stefano had that 8-pack and bulging biceps, would people buy into it as much as they do that? Oh, okay, Mika is approachable, relatable, he's walked the journey with us, he understands a little bit more about weight loss and weight gain and then weight loss again. So I think those things are things I kind of maybe set apart, and all of my trainers at Strong have had quite incredible transformations as well. Not that I thought about that when selecting my trainers, but it just happened to be. And I think maybe that's what was one thing that I thought about before even picking trainers. It's just people that trainers that people could relate to. And I think that's how then I was like, oh my gosh, all these trainers have something in common. So I think that's quite important too, just being authentically you, and just having a good time about it at the same time.
Yeah, so I think that's something important for people to learn, is that before they choose what field they want to study in, is to really try and be in touch with themselves in terms of understanding where they want to go. I mean, for myself, I could look at you and go, cool, Mika's got Strong, it's incredibly successful, he's well known, I'm going to go do the same thing. But I mean, authentically, I'm a strength athlete. I think if I had to come and run one of your classes, first of all, I don't run, so that would be a problem on the treadmill. But yeah, I think that's an important thing in terms of people who are getting into this industry, is to try be authentic with what you want to do and how you feel you can make an impact on the world. And from there, study in the right direction, find the right people to mentor under. I mean, I'm sure you must get lots of people who come to you and say, hey, Mika, please, can you give me some advice? Can I spend some time with you?
And I think a lot of people who are in the fitness space, they're not, or I would like to believe that they shouldn't be all, oh, this is mine, I can't share. I think anyone who is in the fitness space would definitely be open to sharing. Anyone wants to speak to someone that they see at the gym who's a trainer or is in a group fitness instructor, don't be shy, don't be scared to go up to them and be like, how did you do this, how did you get into it, can I shadow you, and I don't believe that anyone will be like no, kind of thing. So and yeah, it's just about learning these little things. And like you said, it's more about learning these little things via experience as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's it always reminds me of a good anecdote where the person at an interview was asked, how do you always make the right decisions? And the reply was experience. And I said, well, how do you get so much experience? And his reply was, well, making the wrong decisions. And I think that resonates true in terms of you've got to be prepared to make mistakes and learn from them so that by the time you're ready to become the great trainer that you are, you're experienced enough to do it properly.
Exactly. And it's all about, like I said, at the end of the day, a squat is a squat, and a bicep curl is a bicep curl. But learning from other people will help influence you to create your own style. So everyone, for me, for example, in a group instructor experience, you could all 5 instructors teach the same class, but the delivery, the tone, the personality that is given off from those 5 different instructors, it'll be a complete different class for the 5 different groups of people attending the class. So those are the things that make you unique. Those are the things that people will come back for. Those are the things that people buy into. So just being unique to you, whilst drawing inspiration from various other people to create your own style as a trainer. Yes.
Okay. Okay. In terms of, so we kind of spoken about advice in terms of being authentic to who you are, trying to find the right niche for your education. Is there anything else that you feel people out in the world should be aware of, or that they need to know when they're sort of taking on a fitness journey?
I think it's quite important if you're in a fitness space just to experience, like I said, as many various styles of fitness. So yes, I may be a bodybuilder, or I may be an aerobics instructor, but to experience different styles of fitness can only improve your own fitness abilities and improve what you may share onto other people, so just being open to the idea that there are various types of fitness, and I think at the end of the day, anyone who's wanting to get into a fitness career are doing it for the fact that they want to help motivate and inspire other people to be healthy, to be good versions of themselves. So I think just being open to the idea that all types of fitness is a fitness, anything from Zumba to swimming to all fitness. I don't know where I'm going with this. Yes.
No, it's not a problem.
Just come to strong. That's where.
So Mika, I'm going to quickly try and see if we can get some questions from anybody who's watching this, just to see if there's anything specific that they'd like to know from you. As I get to the questions, I'm just going to read them off to you, if you're happy with that. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me get onto the video page and see if anybody out there has any questions for Mika. Okay, we have a question here. So we've been asked, how do newbies, let me actually read that correctly. How do newbies go about finding their niche? So what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to figure out what their niche is?
Well, I think you would find inspiration on knowing what your niche is by doing stuff that you enjoy yourself. So I know for you, example, you said you're a strength power lifter. So that is something that you do yourself, and that is something that you would possibly become good at sharing knowledge that you've acquired on your own. I did HIIT kind of training part of my lose weight journey. And I think that's why that's the type of fitness that I fell in love with. And that became my niche. If you're a yoga instructor, you're not going to be, oh, I want to be a yoga instructor without having attended a few yoga sessions and feeling like this is something that you could do yourself. So I think knowing your niche is something that you already are comfortable in, that you've already got one foot in the door, and that is something that you're good at. Like I said, at the same time, having the allowing yourself to allow influence from other styles of fitness to influence you is also something that you must be open to. You mustn't be like, oh, I'm just a strength trainer, so I'm not going to do any mobility or any flexibility kind of exercises, because you know that is needed, you know. So silly example, but yeah, just being open to the idea of allowing other aspects of the fitness sphere to kind of influence you at the same time.
It's actually a perfect example, and I am guilty of it. Obviously, being a strength athlete, our whole purpose in training is to be as tight as we possibly can, which is fantastic until I have to reach something overhead and my arm doesn't go past my ear. Okay, thank you. That's a good answer. I just want to see if there's anybody else has any questions at the moment. Just some nice comments online with people talking about the importance of health. Here is actually a very good question. And this is one hopefully that even I can learn from. How do you grow your confidence on social media to grow your credibility? So I think what they're trying to say is, how do you get that confidence to step up and say, here's my workout, this is what I do, and be confident that you know what you do is good enough?
So I think with the recent lockdowns and being in COVID, that definitely taught a lot of people who may have not been open to the idea of being on social media, being online, to opening yourselves up to being online, to being filmed, to being on lives, or creating Zoom classes with your clients. So I think, what was the question? How do you gain confidence?
Yeah, how do you gain confidence on social media?
So I think for myself personally, I came from being in an entertainment space, being quite visible in the camera, in front of the camera. So for me, it was a natural progression kind of thing. I think it's just about being confident in what you have to offer. When you are confident in what your niche is, then that is something that you'll be confident in. I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, so maybe it would be an idea of just do. Yeah.
And so there was a whole debate. There was someone who posted a video online of someone exercising, and they were training legs, and they were training legs without shoes on. And there's that whole debate of, like, for strength training, kind of bodybuilding training vibes, that it is better to train or do squats barefoot or with flats shoes, as opposed to doing it with a sneaker, which is kind of so there's that whole debate. And I think at the end of the day with fitness, you have to almost, like, I don't want to say that because yes, there are certain things that you need to do in terms of not hurting yourself, but for me also it's just about moving kind of thing. And regardless if he's doing squats with or without shoes, the fact that he's doing squats as opposed to sitting at home on his phone pretending to be a personal trainer or pretending to have comments, meanwhile he's not even moving, he's not even exercising himself, who's wrong, who's right kind of thing. So it's just about minding your own business, just doing your own thing, and those are the things that will set you apart. So if you want to be that guy who always trains, maybe unhygienic, the gym may not allow you, but if you're training without shoes on, then let that be your thing. The fact that you're at least moving your body, for me, is already a sign that you're winning in life, you know? So
Yeah.
just doing you kind of thing, and just focusing on your own thing, and being confident in your own thing. So not being so under the influence of what people may say on Instagram, or listening to comments or whatever, because there'll always be people with comments. Just developing a little bit of a thick skin, even with the group fitness training kind of thing. Like I said, you may have 5 trainers, and 5 trainers teach the exact same class, but the delivery of each person is completely different, and even though it's the exact same class you're teaching, people will lean towards certain trainers more than they will others. And it's just about being comfortable as a trainer that maybe not everyone is going to like you, and that's fine too. Being confident that you may not appeal to everyone, but that doesn't mean you don't appeal to no one, kind of thing. So just being confident that, yes, what I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for people who would possibly be inspired by this. And maybe some people won't be inspired by it. They won't like your style of being a trainer. They won't agree with certain things you do. Keep it moving, boo. Just got to keep it moving, you know?
I think you said some good things there, in that it's understanding that once you move on to social media, you kind of have to grow a bit of a thick skin, because there's always going to be people who hate on you for no matter what reason it is. But it's also understanding that there are a lot more people out there who'd rather pick you up and help you grow than people would rather break you down.
Exactly that. And echoing onto what you said is, the people who are inspired by you aren't going to say anything. They're simply inspired by you. The next time they're in a gym space or they're working out, they're gonna do something that you possibly posted or you mentioned. They're not going to be as loud as those haters. So it doesn't mean that just because they're not visible, they're not liking your pics, or they're not commenting on your posts, doesn't mean they're not there. So don't stop it just because one person is disagreeing with you, or was beefing with you, or saying something negative. Just keep it moving, kind of thing. And if they are saying something, it just simply means that you're doing something right.
Yeah, no, and I like the fact that you touched on people who enjoy your work, enjoy what you do, are inspired by you, tend to be a lot quieter than the people who want to bring you down.
Exactly. So don't, and at the end of the day, even if you as a personal trainer or someone in the fitness space are just inspiring 3 people or 2 people, it's 2 more people who are leading their lives towards something that is healthier and something that is better. Yeah. So that is great.
Okay, I think I've got 1 or 2 more questions. It seems that people are tapping onto the fact that you are quite good on social media. So the next question would be, any tips that you've got in terms of improving your social media presence and making a good impression? So I think what they're looking to do is try to learn about tips on how to grow your social media, tips on how to, and you know, this is something I could actually probably learn from. I mean, I've been on Instagram for a couple of years now, and I think I crack out at 500 followers. Look, I also only post videos of me picking up heavy weights, but what tips would you have to people who are looking to now say, okay, I've studied, I've got my qualifications, I've mentored under the right people, I'm moving into this direction, but I've got 300 followers. What tips would you have to take 300 to 500, 500 to 800?
Well, first of all, like I said, those 300 are 300 people who are being inspired by you every time you post. So it shouldn't be about, oh, I'm now reaching 30,000, I'm reaching 1 million. It's about just already that the fact that you're reaching people is great, first of all. So don't even look at it as a numbers thing. Funny, Lisa, who is head of Trifocus, told me about this idea, and I never quite followed through, but it makes complete sense. And I think you really need to dedicate time to your social media, because it's so important, especially now coming out of COVID and lockdowns and whatnot, that you have a social media plan. And that's the exact secret of, okay, I've got a social media plan. I know every Monday I'm going to post something, the same as if you were doing your kind of workouts. On Monday I train chest, Tuesday I train this. So, you know, Monday I'm going to post something motivational. On Friday Friday, I'm going to post a foodie recipe. On Wednesday, it's going to be workout Wednesday. And then, once a month, I'm going to spend 4 hours one Sunday. I'm going to create content that I know. Every Monday, I've got a motivational quote. Every Wednesday, I have different workouts planned. And that's where you create a structure. People will have reason, then they know, okay, every Wednesday they're going to get a fresh new workout. So let's make sure that we check out Mika's page, because we know every Wednesday there'll be a workout. Every Friday, before we go grocery shopping, let's make sure we have all the ingredients so that we can have a healthy meal over the weekend. So it's about creating a structure, giving people reason to come back. So that is definitely a tip worth following, kind of thing. And then just being unique, like once again, being unique and knowing your audience, knowing who are following you on social media. So you'd have someone who is a pretty boy, looks cute, nice body kind of thing. So at the end of the day, you would assume the people who are following him are girls or gay guys, and they're not really interested in certain things like I don't know, heavy exercise, compound movements, or they're there for eye candy kind of thing. So it's about knowing your audience and knowing, okay, my audience is a female audience. So maybe not overdo the posting of like workouts that they won't be able to achieve or they won't have any interest in. Oh, look how vascular I am, or oh, look at this and that, but appealing to them. So say, okay, I know a lot of my audience are a female audience. So let's appeal to them in a certain way while still inspiring them and motivating them to continue to move. So it's just about knowing your audience. There's no point, I know I'm a vegan, now I'm going to be posting, am I going anywhere with this?
No, I get what you're saying. And I think the two takeaways are consistency, but we know consistency works in all aspects of life. If you're consistent on your training, you see results. If you're consistent on your studies, you finish your courses. If you're consistent with your social media, you'll gain traction. And then again, it all ties back to being authentic and knowing who you're talking to. I love the idea of knowing your audience, because it could be a case of you think you're reaching people because of your workouts, but you're actually reaching people because of the funny captions that you do. People aren't interested in your workouts, interested in the way you talk. And I think that's important. I think that's a good idea.
And not like still obviously trying to share what you want to share, but then just repackage it in another way. So it reaches more people, kind of thing. Exactly. Yeah. Tailoring it to, okay, I know my audience won't find any interest in this, but not what I'm saying is worthwhile. How can I say it in the same, how can I say the same thing, but in a different way? So it appeals to the people who are following me.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Mika, thank you very much for your time. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to sort of chat about.
Nope.
Okay, so tell us again the name of your gym.
So yeah, I'm at Melrose Arch here in Johannesburg. The name of the gym is Strong. It's a HIIT boutique studio in Melrose Arch. And anyone who's watching this can message me and I'll offer you a free complimentary class to come get strong with us. It's in Melrose Arch. You can hit me up on Instagram, Mika Stefano, on Facebook, Mika Stefano, or you can follow the gym, strong_ZA, and would love to get strong with you. When are you coming?
Let's actually make a plan. Let me actually come through and sort of see how much of a sweat I can actually get on.
Good. Awesome. I look forward to seeing you.
Mika,
it's been long.
Thanks very much for your time today, bud.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone who participated in the chat.
Yeah, and thank you very much to our audience and everybody with the good questions and good thoughts. We will let you know as soon as the next Coffee with Trifocus is happening. It should be in about a month's time. And we look forward to having everybody join us again. Thanks, Mika.
Bye-bye.